I'm so excited. I set this up earlier and I couldn't believe it. I actually am going live with it, having it set up earlier. This week has been very interesting for me and very eye-opening at that. Doing connections with people and realizing how much internal mindset and putting it out and helping others at the same time is so challenging, and it affects the muscles and the nerves inside our body in different ways. When we don't deal with the stresses and challenges that come at us, it makes it very difficult. And that's exactly what I learned this week. I went through a program earlier this week, and I learned about the process of developing a program, which I already had. I just had no idea how much I really had it all together. And then I finished putting it together, and they did a process of dealing with money blocks and money traumas. And I knew I've had some. I didn't realize the intensities. And I'll be following up in my next video about that part. What I didn't realize is that people have said that I'm in conflict with myself. Now, when somebody tells you you're in conflict with yourself, it really can sometimes not make any sense at all. And that's exactly what happened for me. It just wasn't clicking. It just wasn't making any sense at all for me. So as I went through this process, I realized just what they meant. And I realized the extent. So I reached out to the administrators, and I reached out to my counselor, and I shared with them, I think this is where the fibromyalgia stems from. And the more I think about it, the more I go back to it, the more I process it, the more I realize how much it really does. And it's hard for me to even admit to that, because some people, the fibromyalgia has to do with stressors and triggers, which mine do. Some people, it stems from autoimmune. Now, with autoimmune, to be honest with you, you're going to still have a stressor and trigger response for fibromyalgia, chronic pain, and chronic fatigue. And what I mean by that is that your body goes through a stress and a trauma relation in regards to autoimmune, because autoimmune is your body fighting against itself. That's basically what autoimmune is. It's just the different disease that might be there. It's the different autoimmune disorders, and they're not disorders. They are actual autoimmune is disease, because it's the body going against itself. But it's the stressors and the triggers that really affect the body response. And so it becomes that much more complicated in regards to the fibromyalgia with autoimmune. It's also why earlier this year I shared with you about how I was being tested for autoimmune. And it was found to be negative. Well, this session at this event that I was a part of really brought it out exactly to what people were talking about, that it wasn't autoimmune, it's actually triggers and stressors, and how they actually affect my day-to-day living. And I mean, I've known that I've had some challenging mantras in the past and some challenging affirmations, and I have adjusted those. I've been able to figure that out. That's been no problem. But this week was really eye-opening in a good way, because the counselors that I had talked to had planned on dealing with this next week. And in reality, I ended up going into it early because of this event. I thought, I can do this, no big deal. And I did, but I got caught into a position that needed some assistance. And because of the way that I did it, I didn't have the assistance that was truly needed. So I did know, though, to reach out to my counselor. I did know to reach out to my the event coordinators and share with them exactly what was going on. And we have since resolved the situation. And I told all of them, I'm not mad about how it came out. The fact that it did come out is the bigger situation. I am so happy that it came out in the first place. It needs to be dealt with. These situations, they need to be dealt with. Now, I'm going to tell you what I am really wondering, and this is just a theory. This is kind of how my brain works. With all of the triggers and with all of the stressors going on, and with the resolve that I was starting to see coming out, could it end up resolving the pains from the triggers and stressors? You know, because fibromyalgia is simply fibro is fiber, my is muscle, algia is generalized pain in those areas. That's all it is. So, and spasms, of course, muscle spasms are included in it. But the whole thing is that with coming to terms with it all, could it potentially reverse it or cause a change in things? Could it really possibly do that? And I'm thinking that it could. But we're going to find out, because I'm going to share with you each step of the way how things process, which means I may have impromptu lives during the week. I may share videos during the week. I haven't completely come to a conclusion on all of that. I'm also beginning to think about doing, giving Bella her own channel. As you can tell, she's a bit rambunctious. She's a normal equivalency of a 2 to 3 year old. And I have been seriously thinking about doing a channel just for her to share her growing up and being trained, because she is showing all the signs to being a very good therapy as well as service dog. And yes, you can have a dog that is both therapy and service dog. So if you're watching this, maybe put down in the comments your thoughts. I'd be very open to them. Hearing what your thoughts are, sharing about my path here, learning about the traumas and putting them together, because I know that the traumas are part of the triggers, are part of the stressors. Did I just confuse you? So traumas actually can cause triggers and stressors. And that's the whole beauty of the thing. So anyhow, I just wanted to share that this week was quite eye-opening. I've discovered that I haven't been I've been social, but I've been really into being aware of the events this week, so that I could learn more and grow more and be there better as a coach and a mentor. And I'm really thankful that I did, because I feel like I'll be a better coach and mentor. And I've also looked at possibly being a public speaker, because people know just so much about me. There are some things that I don't share as often as I probably should. and would encourage others. So until next time, I just thought I would share with you about discovering your strengths within your weaknesses, discovering when you need to say stop, just a moment, something's going on, I need to get clarity, and being there for those who matter most to you. And that even means the four-legged variety, being there for those who are most important. So she's a normal little 2-year-old, even though she's only going to be 15 weeks on Tuesday. Until next time, take care.